Hey everybody, it's Preston here, aka Godzilla Hawk, and this is a NXT review. So guess takeover in a way. I still consider takeover. These premium live events, pay-per-views, whatever you want to call them, for Halloween Havoc 2022. I know I don't really watch a lot of NXT nowadays. NXT is just not as good as it used to be, but I try to make an effort to at least watch the takeovers at least, because usually takeovers are still usually pretty good, even if I'm not watching the weekly shows. I used to love the weekly shows, but now this past year, it's just hasn't been fun. Very cringy, way too character driven to the point where it kind of lacks a lot of care, a lot of like me wanting to grasp everybody, want to get to know everybody. The wrestling is solid at best, but not what it used to be. The storylines are just, meh. It really personally, it just doesn't do anything for me. But I figured I'd give you guys a little review and take over tonight. Not a long review, but kind of get my point across on some of the matches and stuff coming up. So again, I also do apologize for being a little bit later than normal. I said around 8 o'clock, but I wanted to do a few things, get everything kind of process everything. Plus, I'm right now uploading a live reaction to the main event triple threat match between Braun Breaker, Jordan Devlin, and Eli Dragunov. That triple threat live reaction I did on my OnlyFans page, which you can go into the links down below. I have my Twitter, I have my OnlyFans page. So if you want to go and check out the triple threat match, my live reactions to that match, you don't have anything explicit, sexual, or anything like that on the OnlyFans page. It's just other stuff that I put on that I decided not to put on YouTube. So whether that's a booking video, whether that's a ranking list, whether that's live reactions, or so please, if you guys would so much help me out, please subscribe to my OnlyFans. It is free. It's a free subscription if you go, but everything else, certain things you'll have to pay to check the video out or check the link or pay at Godzilla Hawk 1. Notify for every time I come back up here, continue support. So with that being said, thank you guys. Any questions about the show, or if you have any questions about anything else in particular, let me know, and I'll gladly do that. So I'm just going to talk about the show right here. Again, not a super long review. I'm just going to go just the stuff that kind of kept my eyes on, kind of brief description, and then we'll move on from there. And at the end, I'll do some questions. And like I said, if the questions have anything to do with the show here, great. If not, that's okay. I totally get it. Excuse me. Sorry about that. So let's get started here. We had the opening match. We had a ladder match for the NXT North American Championship vacated. We had Carmella Hayes, Wesley, Oro Mensai. I think that's how you pronounce it. Von Wagner, I like to call him Charisma Vacuum. And Nathan Frazier, five-way for the NXT North American Championship. I thought this was a damn good opener. A lot of crazy spots, a lot of unique stuff. Von Wagner killed not one, but almost two people. He killed one with Wesley by launching from inside the ring all the way onto the announce table, which did not break because it was not the Spanish announce table. And then when Von Wagner was trying to give a big ladder from underneath the ring, it nothing good you definitely want to have as a lawsuit, but I digress. That's Von Wagner for you. And basically, it's a lot of newer guys that we're not used to seeing. Wesley did win the championship, and I'll say this, Wesley, I do feel bad for Wesley because when he came in, he was a tag team guy with, God damn it, Nash Carter, thank you. His partner, Nash Carter, MSK, he was fired, and I figured Wesley's done. He's screwed. Without his partner, he's screwed. And now they're giving him the ball. They're trying to give him this underdog character. And now he's champion. And I am happy for him. Whether you like Wesley or not, the guy is very talented. The guy has been through a lot of shit. And I'm just glad he's finally getting a moment to shine. Everybody else did fine. Even Von Wagner, besides the two little spots there, he was fine. Again, he's just a charisma vacuum. Nothing about him. Nathan Frazier, I think, was the one that stood out to me the most. He was very, very intriguing and eye-opening. Oro Messiah has a fair share of spots as well. And of course, Carmelo Hayes. I mean, Carmelo Hayes is just a star. No doubt about it. I think at this point, if he's not going to challenge for the NXT Championship at this point, he doesn't need that NXT North American Championship anymore. He's held the talent. He's got the looks. He's got everything you want in a star. And I think he's ready for the main roster. On the NXT champion. Next, I just don't see where else Carmelo Hayes can go after this. I think it's really damn good opener ladder match for the North American Championship. Next, we have Apollo Crews versus Grayson Waller in a casket match. This was the spin the wheel, make the deal match. It landed on a casket match. This was fine. Yeah, I'm not going to sit here and say this match was fantastic or anything, but I'm not going to say it was bad either. It was a decent casket match. Grayson Waller pushed Apollo. Druids came back out and brought out a second casket because in order to win, you have to put your opponent inside the casket and close the lid, but the lid was going to win. And then basically by the end of it, hard fought battle, but Apollo Crews ends up winning, closing the casket, a bigger one, and wins the match. Grayson Waller is a sleeper guy. I like to call him. He's one of those guys that, see, when I say this, my core four, I like to call the four names I would push as my, personally, the guys I would push to the next generation would be Braun Breaker, Austin Theory, Carmelo Hayes, and Sol Sequoia. But if there was a few other names I throw in there, I throw Grayson Waller in there as like a little project there. Maybe Tony D'Angelo. Probably another name or two I think of as well. So Grayson Waller is really, really good. And Apollo, it's just great to see him back on NXT, kind of getting another second chance. Because he was just not doing anything with the whole Nigeria gimmick. I mean, it was fun for first few months, but after a while, he just didn't do anything. It wasn't anything interesting. It wasn't anything groundbreaking or moving the channel, whatnot. It was just like, okay, he's there. That's about it, unfortunately. But Apollo Crews wins, so I don't know. Maybe Apollo will challenge for NXT Championship as well. That's a potential challenge for me. I don't know. We'll see. Next, we got a spin the wheel, make the deal, weapons wild match. Basically, anything goes. We got Roxanne Perez versus Cora Jade. Again, decent match. This is not one of the better women's matches I've seen. We know Cora Jade and Roxanne are pretty good. But this match, it just felt like half the time they knew their spots, half the time they were kind of slow, plotting, kind of softing each other up a little bit. Not in a good way, like very lightly doing stuff. It just, there wasn't really anything unique other than both of them going off the corner top platform where they sometimes have interviews, stuff like that, and they crashed through a couple tables. Out of that, just the basic no DQ match, nothing grand. With Roxanne end up getting a victory. which is fine. I don't have a problem with that. But other than that, there's nothing really else about this match that really grabbed my attention, that grabbed my eyes. It was just like, okay, it happened, but that's really all I can say. Next, we had Julius Creed versus Damien Kemp in an ambulance match. And had Julius lost his brother, Bruce would have been forced to leave NXT. Stipulations like that basically spoiled matches. I don't like that. So Julius Creed was obviously going to win. I like Creed Bros. I think those are one of the tag teams that could easily be kind of where the Usos are right now, or the New Day, where they're that top tag team. I also think the Creed would be that. And honestly, this ambulance match was a lot of fun. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Both men beat the crap out of each other. We saw some stairs, some unique spots. They just brawled. And at the end of it, though, Julius Creed ends up putting Damien Kemp in the back of an ambulance, and he closes the door, and that was it. Julius Creed wins. That's basically all I can give to you. I mean, I can't remember spot for spot. Now, Damien Kemp, if I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe Damien Kemp is the brother of Gable Stevenson. I could be wrong, which, by the way, I don't know where he's at. He got drafted to Raw. We haven't seen him since, WrestleMania? So I don't know what's going on with that. So Damien Kemp, so this is my first time seeing Kemp. And he did too bad, but again, this was more of a fight. This was not really much of a wrestling match, so I need to see Kemp more. So it's kind of hard to tell if he's really like a promising guy to keep an eye on. We'll wait and see. But either that, like I said, I thought this ambulance match was a lot of fun. But in my opinion, my favorite ambulance match is still Kane versus Shane McMahon Survivor Series 2003. I still think that's the best ambulance match. And then we got Mandy Rose versus Kaylee Ray. So kind of going back this lane where Toxic Attraction went to go look for Kaylee Ray and took it to like Sid Mac Hunt, where they're looking for her and they all get taken out. Mandy Rose gets taken out, put into a car, and they drive off. And as soon as the ambulance match ends, that's when we see the car come back and they enter the building. And Mandy Rose and Kate having a match. Reverend gets knocked down after Toxic Attraction kind of interferes, and Kaylee Ray out by accident. Kaylee Ray had the match won, but referee down, so they couldn't do anything. Toxic Attraction ends up double teaming Kaylee Ray, throws the referee back in, and then maybe hits the right knee. Referee counts 1, 2, 3, and that's it. And this all happened in 7 minutes. This match was pointless. I'm just saying right now, this match was pointless. I don't understand why this match needed to be on the show, which is going to be a basically time filler. And then what's really concerning me is I like Mandy, and I like action, especially Gigi Dolan. Love Gigi Dolan for obvious reasons. But it's where it's like, when is Mandy going to drop the title? Because Toxic Attraction is main roster ready. And I don't understand why we're still doing this. I feel like Mandy Rose should have lost that NXT Women's Champion months ago. She's had a good run, but it's getting to the point where, like, okay, she needs to lose it because she needs to get called up to the main roster with Gigi Dolan and Jessie Jane. Let's get them on the main roster. And it just seems like they're not doing it. I don't know where the direction is going to go, but I'm just hoping that they figure out soon, because this match was not – it was honestly a waste of time. And it's getting to the point where I'm starting to get sick of Mandy as champion. I'm just like, Can someone just dethrone her, please? Can someone take the title off of her, please? Because I like to see her in Toxic Attraction finally get called out in the main roster. The Ray, the women's do really use some more women on top of have another actual team for their women's tag team championships, which should never even been brought back to begin with. Because once again, besides Damage Control, there's no real teams on that entire roster. So this match was just honestly a waste. It was just time killer. So then we got the main event, a triple match for the NXT Championship. We got Braun Breaker versus Eli Dragunov and JD McDonagh, or I'm just calling Jordan Devlin. Rather like that name anyway. Prefer that name anyway. I'm not going to go through every single spot here because it was almost nonstop action. This match was great. I saw this match. I figured this could be a show stealer. And this was personally my match of the night besides the ambulance match. I really did enjoy that ambulance match and the ladder match. But this was probably the best match, entire match show, in my opinion. If you thought the ladder match was better, I get it. Just all three men just about each other, near falls, just showing their impressive physiques and their skills. Breaker ends up winning. I got no problem with Breaker winning and staying NXT a little bit longer. There are still maybe some names he can still fight and face. Like I said, maybe Carmelo Hayes, Apollo Crews. We'll have to wait and see on that. But, Braun Breaker is another one of those guys. I believe that could be main roster bound. And I appreciate them keeping him in NXT a little bit longer to better. And that's what I like about Breaker working with some of these veteran guys is now he's gained more experience. He's gained more used to because once he gets onto the main roster, he's going to be facing basically a lot of veterans. And Breaker is not a guy that's been on independents a lot. I think he's been to a couple independent shows. Either that, he's almost completely WWE handmade. And that was one to be with NXT 2.0. NXT, WWE, Vince, and Bruce, they didn't want guys from the indies. They wanted guys that were boxers, football players, amateur wrestlers, bikini models, bikini models and cheerleaders and swimsuit contest pieces. They wanted that. And they didn't want the independents. And because of that, you need to have guys like Apollo Crews and, Jordan Devlin, Eli Dragunov, even Wes Lee and guys like that to help these Grayson Wallers, Carmelo Hayes, Braun Breakers, and all these guys to get them prepped up for roster. So when they hit the main roster, they don't seem out of place. They seem like they're right at home. So Breaker holding out to NXT, have a problem with, but there is going to come a time where it's going to get to almost like Mandy Rose, where we feel like, okay, Breaker's going to need to lose the championship, and it's time for him to get called because Raw and SmackDown can definitely use someone like Breaker. And look, Breaker on that roster is great. He's got a great physique. He can talk. He cares. And I guess what I'm saying before, Breaker's one of those guys that could be the face of the company, along with Austin Theory, Carmelo Hayes, Solo Sikoa, Pollard, Tony D'Angelo. People like that are the guys you need to, put your eggs in those baskets. And not just one guy. Have a good core group guys to build around as your top names. And then while you have those guys, you have a few other guys that come in, mid-card guys, and then maybe if they start getting over, then you can maybe push into that next level. That's kind of how I see things. But like I said, Breaker winning, I got no problem with. But eventually, Breaker is going to have to lose the title, and he's got to get called to the main roster soon. But again, I got no problem with him staying a little bit longer to get some of the ring rust out of the way, work with more established names and more veterans of the game. And really, so when he gets called up to Raw and SmackDown, he's ready. And like I said, Carmelo Hayes and Braun Breaker could be a potential match for the NXT Championship. Apollo Crews, he got a victory. Maybe you can get him. Braun Breaker, he did fight Dragunov one-on-one, also three-way. So maybe the match with them one-on-one, There's a lot of potential other names. Apparently, Dijakovic is coming back. We saw like a promo package with someone throwing something to a fire, and it was the old T-bar mask, and that's Dominic Dijakovic. Maybe he coming back to NXT, and he could be a potential challenger for Braun Breaker. That should be kind of interesting, I'm not going to lie. So there's a lot of stuff they could do here. Overall, great main event overall. And overall, I give the shows like a 7.5 out of 10. You have decent matches. You had a few great matches, and then you had one match that just did not need to be on the show. That was just time killer. So that's basically how I'm going to pull up this review overall. So with that being said, that's going to do it here for my brief NXT TakeOver review. So what I'm going to be doing here is recapping. So again, I did do a live reactions to the Triple Threat main event. So if you want to go back and check that out, the OnlyFans page. Again, my OnlyFans page is subscription free. You can subscribe right now. It's free. But if you want to actually watch the live reactions on my OnlyFans page, you'll have to pay $3 if you want to watch the full half-hour reactions. It actually just uploaded my OnlyFans page. So go on my page right now. Hit the link down below and subscribe. If you can't, again, free, please support my channel on OnlyFans. Also subscribe to me, follow me on Twitter at Godzilla Hawk. Links in the box. And subscribe to my YouTube channel here and hit the notification button to get notified for any other videos I may do, whether it's this or any type of video. Please do that. And with that being said, guys, I'm going to go ahead and end this off. So with that being said, take care of my peeps. Have a good night. See you guys next time.